Ladies and gentlemen, I am Yusrul, the game is Star Trek Online. It is the 14th of April 2014, give or take, for another 35 minutes at least. And welcome once again to the Tribble Timewarp. We're back on Earth's space dock, where there have been a few tweaks with the latest patch, not the least of which is that the Admiral's office has had a slight update to its decor. We now have the overlay of which ships are docked up. Hopefully we'll get more resolution on these textures later. I still think it would be nice to have some player starships mentioned, or at least name checked in here. Also, I have to note the angle layout is a bit odd. You'd expect it to be 0, 90, 180, 270 going clockwise around. It's not, it's half that. 0, 45, 90, 135 and then back to 0. Who knows, who cares? The Yeoman has apparently dropped a piece of notepaper. I'm not sure what that is, or even if it's meant to be there, because if I move away from it, you can see that at a certain distance it just disappears. It's worth noting that that is corresponding with the lighting detail pop on the Admiral's pads. So it might be that that's almost a lighting issue, or at least a renderer, rather than a clumsy ensign. Still, the Admiral doesn't seem too fussed by it. We also have a basic internal schematic for space dock, just to ram home how big it really is. 3,800 meters, give or take, in... well, it says beam. I suppose diameter might be a more appropriate term, given that it's basically cylindrical. And draft, 5,500 meters, mass 10.5 megatons. Megatons? Yeah, million tons, yeah, that's right. So basically, convert all of that to matter, or at least TNT, and blow it up, and you'd have one rather small bomb. Anyhow, back on to business. The Undine missions have had a bit of an update. So, we'll start with the reputation track, since the art is now in and tweaked for the most part. In particular, we now have the proper mission deployments here. It's worth noting that the dilithium hourly has gone. This is now locked. You can do the hourly XP project 3 times in every 20-hour period. Once you have done that, it will go into cooldown, and you will then get the dilithium project instead. Needless to say, this essentially gates you, so you can do the counter command efforts once, which gives you 2,500 rep. And if you then move on to the hourly reports, you can do that 3 times. So basically you're looking at 3,100 rep in every 20-hour session. At that rate, to get 100,000 rep, you're basically looking at, well, 30 days plus or minus. So Cryptic are effectively time-gating progress through the tiers. It should be noted that you'll complete Tier 1 in 2 days. Tier 2 follows at about the week mark. And then things slow down significantly at tiers 4 and 5. So let's just see if this will work, because of course we are in Tribble. Unfortunately, I don't have any Undine marks, so let's not test that, because that's a little bit hosed. Ladies and gentlemen, I will probably be trying to run some Tribble streams. It would be good to have some more people on there. Keep an eye out on my Twitter at Yusrul. I'll try and set something up this weekend, but there may be spontaneous moments as and when I just have the time. And oh look, here comes the Odyssey again. Anyhow, some other changes have been to the Borg plot missions. So let's just bring these up for a moment. Now, the Borg line has been revamped. It's worth noting that this technically occurs before the Solinae, Dyson Sphere and the Breen arcs, so Tuvok, while he does make an appearance, hasn't had his run-in with a certain scientist. I'll try and keep the spoilers to a minimum for this. So we have Where Angels Fear to Tread, A Gathering Darkness, Assimilation and Fluid Dynamics. Now, Fluid Dynamics is perhaps the most interesting of these. So we'll bring this up, obviously because my character has credit for playing through the original Borg Advance arc. The game thinks that I have already done this mission, so naturally we're on to the replay rewards. So, this time around, I can have dual cannons Mark 11, dual anti-proton beam Mark 11, or anti-proton beam array. Not a bad way of gearing up an anti-proton based ship. It would perhaps be nice to lose the damage mod in favour of something else, but hey, beam array, dual cannons isn't a bad mix at all. It's also worth noting that this revamped mission is going to involve the USS Voyager and Admiral Tuvok. Yes, we are going to be playing that in this episode of the Time Warp. Why not? However, the first time you play this through, you are supposed to be able to get an adapted transphasic torpedo Mark 12, triple damage, and a Borg mod. This was interesting for me because, of course, the Borg mod used to be on Space Gear. It's kind of disappeared. I can't even find my old anti-Borg phases. I think they may have been converted into something else on the quiet, which is slightly annoying. However, because existing characters have probably already played Fluid Dynamics in its original state, we can't get to this mission. Cryptic, just a suggestion, put the torpedo in as a way, or at least as a replay reward, so that we can actually get to it as adapted players. Anyhow, let's get this going, see what we have. We're going to the CUDA system, and since I'm feeling lazy, we're just going to transfer. Oh wow, 37.5k. Well, let's face it, entry credits are cheap. Let's see. So, what else do we have? The various 5 bands have had their voice work added. Again, I need to get players going and a group together for that to work. So, as I say, I'll try and set something up. Keep an eye on the Twitter feed. Secondary firing mechanisms. Weapons now apply a rapid series of pulses. So, for example, what comes to mind? Something like, I suppose the plasma flamethrower is the obvious one there. Will not now remove an exposed functionality until you have a 6th activation pulse or your end of the firing cycle, whichever happens first. And it's also worth noting that any primary firing mode, so left mouse button on the conventional control scheme, that had a chance to expose, has had its chance halved to, well, half of what a secondary firing mode will have. It's also worth noting that any traits, items, etc. will have half effects as well. Essentially, it works out what your chance of exposure on the secondary would be, and then it halves it to give you your chance on the primary. So, let's get Fluid Dynamics going. Alright, game on. Let's see what we have. Okay, so, the Romulans are assisting.
I am Admiral Tuvok of the USS Voyager. I will provide tactical assistance on this mission.
That's a privilege, Admiral. I studied the exploits of Voyager at Starfleet Academy, including how Madam Ripper Janeway got you lost for 7 years. Also, Tuvok, you appear to have changed your uniform, and that's a galaxy bridge. Oh wow, did Voyager have a refit?
Thank you. Your meteoric rise through the ranks is well known to me as well. Sensors indicate the division between normal and fluidic space is thinner here, making crossing much easier. The Undine have used this location in the past. We will use it now.
Excellent. Well, let's get going.
The majority of the fleet will remain here to protect this area. Our team will enter fluidic space, locate, and then survey the Borg presence there. If possible, we will destroy it. When you are ready, Voyager will open the singularity.
Okay, well, let's just close that for a second, because I want to have a quick look at some of these ships. First off, oh wow, they busted out the whole fleet, didn't they? Okay, second point, we have the IKS Klinzai here, and the IKS Klinzai is over there as well. Also, the Finder appears to be moving. Okay, I'm just going to loop back around quickly, because the nitpicker in me wants to check something. 74656. Excellent, they got the registry number right. There would have been howls from the lore nerds if that hadn't happened. So the Klingons are cloning their ships. Well, we've blown enough of them up. Right then, let's get this done.
Welcome to the CUDA.
Yep. Pop it open. There we go. Artificial singularity. And we are advancing. Also, I probably ought to set up my bridge officers before we go any further. Whoops. This is what you get for not bothering to check that everything was ported across from Tribble. Okay. Holodeck, rather. So, bang, 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 bang. Put Corin on tactical, and we'll stick Blake on shields. Okay, bridge officers are more or less set. Auto fire is armed. What have we got coming through? The USS Venture. Okay, that's a nice nod to the Sea Store ship. Arm up. And let's go. Ah, nice touch though. They didn't play the warp out graphic. They popped us into the Singularity instead. So, let's see what we have. Okay.
We made a successful transition into fluidic space. Unlike our own, this dimension is filled with an organic fluid. The main indigenous life form is species 8472. Sensors are detecting a Borg signature nearby. Your vessel will take the lead in the investigation. We will follow.
Acknowledged. We'll take point, and we are being hit by currents. Yes, it's a fluid. You get pressure eddies and ripples. Okay, so let's go investigate Borg signature. Right, toddling along. Okay, and you can actually see the effect that the current's having. It's semi-random. There we go, another little jolt there. Watch the impulse trails. Okay, let's bob forwards. Okay, and that's a new Borg structure by the looks of it. Some kind of Borg device, so let's get close because this has never gone horribly wrong before. Toddling in, all stop. I'd ask for station keeping, but I know it's not going to happen. Okay, it's an interplexing beacon. Okay, so we have comm relays, meaning we have to find the beacons. Right, let's follow the breadcrumb trail. There we go, there's the next one. You guys following? Yes, you are. Excellent. What else do we have? I'm pretty sure I saw the USS Stargazer there for a second. Round you come, guys. Just catch us up. Oh, caught another crosscurrent. No, Star Dancer. Can't say I've ever heard of that ship before, but we'll see. What have we got? Scan interplexing beacon. Have the Borg realised we're here yet? Data acquired. There appears to be a total of 5. Okay, well, let's go follow the breadcrumbs. How much of this map? I'm tempted to ask if we actually need to have quite so many beacons, if this could be shrunk down a little. On the other hand, the map's kind of a spoiler in that there's a Unimatrix up ahead. So, well, you can see it in the background as well. Scans the beacon, that's 3. Aha! And a subspace signal with a Starfleet signature.
We've been examining the data on the interplexing beacons, and we believe we may have discovered a vulnerability in the Borg subspace carrier wave technology. If it's acceptable to you, I would like the Venture to remain here and run some tests while you investigate the signal. We may not get another opportunity.
You're so assimilated, Captain. Wait, Rebecca Simmons? Oh, wow. Just how much of this are they going to have to rewrite? Okay, well, we're never going to see the Venture again. Not only are they splitting the party, but she's not wearing her rank insignia for one thing. That's just being petty of me. Well, she's wearing red. That's appropriate. Rebecca Simmons. I've heard that name before. Let's go check out this distress beacon. Although it has to be noted that anything out here is either assimilated, Undine, a trap, or a combination of the 3. What do we got? Well. Rebecca Simmons. Is my memory playing tricks? Because that was the pre-assimilation name of the end boss in the original version of Infected Ground. May still be. It's been a while since I ran it. Whoa.
Is unique in fluidic space. It is not a planet by Starfleet definitions. If I had to categorize it, I would say it is similar to the coral reefs found in Earth's oceans. The ground itself is a framework for living creatures.
I'm not looking at the coral reef, Tuvok. I'm looking at the wreckage cluster, because I'm pretty certain we've never taken that many ships into fluidic space.
We are detecting a number of ships in the area. Starfleet, Klingon Defense Force, Romulan Republic, even Ferengi and Cardassian. Most species from the Alpha and Beta quadrants appear to be represented.
So what was this? Their research lab? Let's see what we have. Derelict ship. Close it in. Scan Klingon ship. What have we got? Identical configurations, the technologies that aren't used in standard ship construction, metallurgical analysis. The allies are Iconian because the Iconians are faking out the Undine. Right. Oh boy, we may be somewhat hosed here.
Captain Simmons to Voyager. The Borg are here. We're taking heavy fire and need immediate assistance.
Told you. Okay, so now we know how the Iconians have been provoking the Undine. They've been sending fake ships through gateways and just leaving evidence. You'd think the Undine would be smart enough to realise that these ships don't correspond to those ships. Follow Venture's distress call. Well, what are you doing off your beacon location, Missy? Anyhow. Escape pod, right. Have you been assimilated yet? Beam aboard escape pod. Cargo Bay 2, get security down there now. Dr. Cooper was in an escape pod. Excellent.
Tuvok will be here any second.
Oh?
I don't think they're in the mood to take prisoners. Please, you have to get me out of here. I'm not like you and Tuvok. I'm much too important to die here.
Well, Dr. Cooper, we've met before. Okay, obviously voiceover needs to be lined up and redone, but it's good to see that we're having an introduction to this guy. The Borg attacked, we had a banned ship, we were floating here and waiting. Okay, right. So that presumably is when a certain event happened. I'm going to stay away from spoilers, even though I imagine everyone here has played A Step Between Stars. She insisted on being the last one out. No, we are not leaving. Right. Okay, locate and scan next interplexer. Well, fare thee well, Captain Simmons. It was nice knowing you. Unfortunately, the Borg don't generally bother with anesthesia when they assimilate someone. Round we go. Frame rate's dipping a little. Not sure whether that's because this still needs a graphics pass, or whether I'm pushing my system a bit harder than would otherwise be the case. But, it's hovering in the mid-20s at the moment. Not sure if that's an optimization thing. I have a fairly powerful rig. Okay, dump from impulse. All stop. And, of course, still moving because of the currents in fluidic space. Annoying as that is. Initiate scan. The beacon is handling a significant amount of traffic, and that should be the last option we need. Right, so the Borg, the Undine, and the Iconians have basically all collided. And, oh, wow. Yeah, now we know why it's... Oh boy, they've changed the music on us. Not quite tabbing on proximity either. That sounded like a couple of the cues from First Contact, but it's not consistent at this point. So, new respawn point. Oh dear, the Venture's been assimilated, hasn't it? Scan the beacon. You have the coordinates of the Borg fleet. Shields up. Proceed with caution. What do you mean the shields weren't up to start with? And we can engage the Borg fleet. Right, what do we got? We are so very, very dead. If we're lucky. If we're unlucky, we are so very, very assimilated.
The Borg presence is much larger than we anticipated. Nevertheless, our orders are to remove as much of it as possible. Voyager will follow your lead.
We're going in. We may not be coming back out, but we're going in. Oh, wow. This is a full-on unicomplex. Okay, what do we got?
Is that a Borg Unimatrix? It's enormous!
Yes, it is.
I admit that it is an impressive structure.
Right, let's begin the kicking. Come on, guys, give me a hand here. Okay. Power to shields. Round we go. Are you guys going to contribute? Come on, start shooting. Thank you. Alright, well, let's gang up on this sphere then. 15k out, and now the Star Dancer's got aggressive. Okay, 1. Okay, trigger beams. And while we're at it, go for tank mode as well. Depth charges away. Boom. Okay. Next problem. Shields on reinforced, divert auxiliary power. Fire everything. Okay, so Star Dancer is repairing. Let's give them a quick hand. Okay, that was interesting. Okay, simple enough so far. I know that these cubes are being augmented to allow the fact that we've got NPCs with us. The spheres are not, so they're more a nuisance than anything. Evasives. Quickly bring this one down. There we go. And down hard. Any interesting loot from this lot? Not really. Boom. Okay, so we have a wave of Borg reinforcements coming in. Round we come. The Finder's already engaged. What do we got? Cube. Intercept complete. And yeah, where's the Voyager gone? Alright, it's just lurking around. Right, pathfinding for the AI ships needs to be improved. Tuvok's managed to get the Voyager hooked up on a Unicomplex. Whoops. Unimatrix, sorry. A horrible, horrible offense. Let's call in the fleet and just do this with science. Oh, on Tuvok. Get yourself... Oh, great. Now the Star Dancer is stuck as well. Terrific. Okay, another cube gone. Boom. How much health do these guys have? Anyway, 80,000. Okay, that's pretty reasonable as a solo scrap. Put a scan on it. And while we're at it, we'll just... No need to do that, actually. Oh, board shield drain. There we go. And in we come. Next cube. Whoop. Sub-nuke him. And just keep things going. Shields to reinforce. And auxiliary power over. So we are good. Just a few more Borg reinforcements to get rid of. And tap the hazard emitters again. Alright, what's next? Another cube. Terrific. Fire everything. Okay, it appears to be working its way through the Unimatrix. We've got some clipping problems there. Voyager's stuck, but the Star Dancer has managed to free itself. I think the AI pathing on this map still needs a bit of a rework. Boom. Oh. Okay, who said anything about retreat anyway? We cannot combine them with the Borg. Right, those are in the wrong order. However, I'm tempted to ask who said anything about retreat. Now I know. Okay, what is that? Radiation pulse by the look of it. And what have we got here? 300,000. Okay, here's our boss fight. Keep the disruptor fire going and we'll get the depth charges out as well. Flank fleet up. Fire at will. And tactical abilities go. EM go, and then start the reset on everything. And we're being jammed. Terrific. No, you don't. Did I just wreck my own... who knows? Keep firing. Fire everything. Okay. Heal it up. Okay, that's got it back in the fight. We'll also extend shields to give the engineering team just give it a quick boost up. No one gets left behind, except possibly the crew of the USS Venture. Go, intercept that torpedo, and just keep the fire poured on. Again, rotate, and maintain barrage. Oh look, it's feedback pulsing us. Yeah, this is very definitely a scaled down version of the Queen ship from Into the Hive? Yeah, Into the Hive. So, round we come again. Gear up for another pass. Not really a threat to us, but the Fender is in need of repairs, so we'll just tab on and get that going again. Keep the barrage coming, sensor scan. And the Voyager is still stuck at the back doing precisely nothing. Come on, Tuvok. Wakey, wakey. Ooh, blue plasma. And now it's throwing Tychon's rifts at us as well. Terrific. Has emitters are still charging. Shields to reinforce. Fire at will. And we've been hit with armor. It's fine. Engineering team clears that. And we'll go full to bat just to recycle everything. Bit of a waste of hazard emitters there, but gets rid of the fire, which is the main problem. Oh, antimatter spread. Nice touch. The Borg have learned. And we have what appears to be a... Oh, wow. Oh, wow, oh, wow, wow. Check it out. Left field. I'm just going to go take a quick look at this, because... Okay. Escape through artificial singularity. I'm sorry, I have just got to go and check this out. Oh, boom. The Undine are slogging it out. Oh, wow, they just wrecked it. Villa heavy bioship. Right, so basically we just led the Undine straight to the Borg. Let's get out of here before they get any nastier. That was clearly intended to be a no, you can't fight these guys. Now, Tuvok, where's this singularity of yours? Come on. Oh, right, there's our exit. Don't know why it's being opened over there, but I suppose it does save problems if... Are the rest of you guys following? I intend to leg it. Ah, cutscene. Yep, there we go. Boom. Just to demonstrate that the Undine are not to be messed with. Nice touch that they use the Planet Killer Beam, but... Okay, and we are warping out. That needs to be tidied up a touch, so we're back in the CUDA system. Good news, where's the USS Venture? We don't know.
Report to Starfleet Command immediately. We thought that the Undine were responding to a Borg incursion into their space. But it now appears that the Iconians, or some entity posing as them, has created false Alpha and Beta Quadrant ships and sent them into fluidic space. Clearly, the Undine attacked us because they thought we attacked them first.
Starting... Well, let's face it, that's basically the good news, isn't it?
There is some good news. The spread of the Borg nanovirus has halted, and thanks to the Doctor's research, we should be able to prevent future planets from being assimilated in this manner. The Borg will adapt in time, but we have also stopped them from transmitting the technique for Undine assimilation to the collective. It is possible they could learn how to do so again. We will need to remain vigilant.
Right, so I'm assuming that ties into the revamped episode still.
The Borg in fluidic space were forced to retreat, and logic suggests it will be quite some time before they trouble the Undine again. The end of the Borg attacks in their home might stop the Undine advance into our space. But if the Iconians continued to trick Species 8472 with false incursions, they could decide to invade ours in retaliation.
Well, let's face it, that's basically what they're doing anyway, and we don't know how long the Iconian's been mucking around with that trick, so...
Voyager will take Dr. Cooper and the other survivors back to Earth. I suggest that we all confer with our fleet commanders to determine the next course of action. We have not seen the last of the Undine.
Until next time. Okay, so that is it for Fluid Dynamics. Nice touch that Captain Simmons made an appearance and is unaccounted for at the end of the mission. Part of me wants to have it made a bit more explicit that the Venture was probably assimilated. Maybe adding it in as a fight in infected conduit space. Maybe giving that as an extra bit of background and a tie-in. Also can't help but think it would be nice to see the USS Stargazer brought in as opposed to the Star Dancer, since that ship's already been included a couple of times in the lore. Specifically, of course, the Stargazer A, not the original, which was probably broken up for scrap years ago. Also nice to see the Typhoon-class battleship is still getting some use. Let's see, what else? Basically, that torpedo needs to be sorted out. So, let's report to Captain Nicholas Martin. Okay, still using this generic Galaxy Bridge set. However, false flagships troubling, etc, etc, etc. So, there we go. That is that. Right, so, ladies and gentlemen, that is the revamped Fluid Dynamics. Still a little rough around the edges in places, but that's to be expected. It is Tribble. And until next time, farewell.